YouTube, it's Annabelle. So I wanted to do a kind of like recap video on my pre-TTC charting and how I did things and kind of how we're going to move forward in our TTC journey. And you'll have to excuse me, my allergies are so bad today. It wasn't worth trying. My eyes are itchy, my nose is stuffy, so if I sound weird, sorry. Anyways, so I wanted to kind of go over how I'm charting, how I was tracking pre-TTC, and how I'm going to be tracking during TTC, which is pretty much the same thing. Okay, so a little recap if you watched my video on my first 2 cycles of charting. I have these sheets that I put my OPKs on. So for the first 2 months, so like January and February, I took an OPK every single day. And the reason why I did that was because the last time we tried to conceive my daughter, my cycle was all over the place. I never ovulated on the same time. Sometimes it was right after my period. Sometimes I even got a positive OPK once the day before my period started. So this time around, and the reason why I was doing charting is so that way I could see if my cycle was relatively the same every month and kind of see where my body was at. So for the first 2 months, again, I took an OPK every day. Well, I found the first cycle was I ovulated. I got positive OPKs on the 19th and the 20th cycle day. And then the next one I got positives on the 21st and 22nd cycle days. And then the next one I got a positive OPK on the 19th and 20th cycle days. And let's see, and this time around I got a positive OPK on cycle day 18. So I was not supposed to ovulate according to my charts until anywhere between like 19, 20, and 21. So I was not thinking that I was going to get a positive OPK until this Saturday. Well, it turns out I got my positive OPK last night, which was cycle day 18. So that is super, super exciting. So and for family and friends, whatever, who watch me that don't know all this like TTC kind of stuff, I wanted to explain a little bit about like fertility and kind of stuff like that. Okay, so, and I hope you can see this, but this is a OPK, which is an ovulation predictor kit. So this is different from a pregnancy test because it says LH right here. And then there is a test line and a control line. And like this is where you dip your urine. And this one is negative. Okay, so, and I wanted to show you guys this because this is like a way better explanation for this. Okay, so this is the wrapper that it comes in, and it has a little like bag of that. Make sure there's no moisture in the package. In the package, sorry. So anyway, so this is it, standard OPK ovulation urine test strip, and then when you open it up, this is what is going to come out. So the label on this explains it the best. Okay, so hopefully my camera will zoom on it, but this is what one side of the label says. So it tells you where your max dip is, right here, whoop, right here, and then these are your results. There we go. Okay, so the only time that it is positive is when it looks like this, when the control line or the test line is as dark or darker than the test line. And even if you get any other lines or no lines, it is negative. So you want to wait for this day. Okay, so that is an OPK. And so how I use that is when it turns positive, you like the stuff on the internet and research and all that stuff says that you will ovulate within like 24 hours of when you get your positive. So, and I've also read stuff that to increase your chances of getting pregnant, you are supposed to have sex the day before you get your positive result, and then the day after you get your positive result. So when my husband and I were doing our celebratory baby dancing, it turns out that that was the day before we had our positive OPK. And today is the day after we had our positive OPK. So we will be baby dancing tonight. So anyways, and then we're not going to baby dance tomorrow, but then we will baby dance the day after that. And that's what I've kind of found that is like most kind of what you're supposed to do. So that is what I'm going to do. Some sites say that you're supposed to have sex the day after you get your positive OPK and for the additional next 2 days. So 3 whole days after you get your positive OPK. But we're just going to try it this way and see what happens, see if it works. Okay, so there's all sorts of different kinds of like fertility signs that you are like ovulating or whatever you want to call them. And one of them is your cervical mucus or CM. And your fertile mucus is like the consistency of an egg white. And so that's what you're looking for. So I have been tracking both my OPKs and my CM. And what I'm finding is that the day after, even as soon as the morning after I get my positive OPK, I have the egg white cervical mucus. So awesome! And so that is where we are at today because I got my positive result yesterday. So it's super exciting. There are, let's see, when we were trying to conceive my daughter, I did do the basal body temperature, but that was not a good, like, it didn't work well for us. And my temperatures were all over the place, and that could have been that my cycles were so random and just all over the place. So that could be why that was not a good, like, sign of ovulation and all that stuff. And you can buy, like, ovulation-like kits, like, where they have vaginal sensors and also the saliva sensors. You can buy just saliva ones where you're looking for the crystallization of your saliva once it dries. And that's all I can think of for right now. I never tried the saliva one or, like, the vaginal, like, probe insert thingy. Never tried that. We are sticking to our OPKs and CM tracking. So that has worked out super good for us. It has told us in the last 4 months that my cycles are pretty regular. They do differ by 1 to 3 days. They differ from. And I can predict when Aunt Flo is going to come by my positive OPK. And if your positive OPK is day number 1, then my Aunt Flo comes on day 14 or 15. So I can predict when she's going to show up and stick around and all that stuff. So we are going to baby dance today. We're going to skip tomorrow and baby dance the next day and see if we can get our big fat positive. So anyways, so this is, again, this is more of an explanation of where we've been at and what we've been doing and how my charting has been going. So that way we can hopefully have a success earlier than we did the last time. So if you have any questions or comments, or if you know of any additional like fertility signs and all that stuff, just leave them below. And yes, don't forget to subscribe, and you all have a fabulous day. Bye, guys.